So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how to build wealth through investing. So here's the thing. Whenever it comes to building wealth, you're generally not going to build wealth from your income of a job. That's just not typically how it works. Typically, if you want to build wealth, you're going to need to have your money working for you while you sleep. And there's a lot of ways to build wealth through investing. And the way that I particularly like, obviously, as you can guess based on this channel, is through real estate. Now, I will say, I have invested in the stock market. I actually am currently invested in the stock market as well. I don't have a lot in the stock market. I have some mutual funds. I bought some specific stocks a handful of years ago that I've added to over the years. And so I've had a long-term position on a few stocks. I've actually even traded options before as well, which I don't do that much these days. But the stock market can be a great place to, have a part of your portfolio if you want to have some money invested there. But for me, I think, quite frankly, real estate is one of the greatest places to build wealth. Just look at the millionaires out there, multimillionaires, most of them are invested in real estate. And there's a lot of great advantages. There's tax advantages and things of that nature. But I want to tell you a story first. I want to share this story with you because I think this is something that really can hopefully for that new or aspiring real estate investor out there can really help them to think about, building wealth with real estate. And that is my very first fix and flip property. So my very first property that I invested in solely as a house that was going to be an investment. I had a previous property that my wife and children and I lived in, and we kept it when we moved out as a rental. And then eventually I sold that property on owner financing. But the very first house that I bought for the purpose of an investment ended up being a property. It was located in Casey, South Carolina. And I bought this house, and it was a full gut renovation. And I thought basically that I could go in there and do a full gut renovation for about $20,000. And that was my first mistake. Now, I had done a lot of research. I'd been reading books. I'd been listening to podcasts. I had done a ton of research. I thought I kind of had a good handle on, a lot of information, but I wasn't a part of any mastermind. I wasn't a part of any community. I wasn't getting any type of coaching or anything. And I just went in kind of head first. And so I found out pretty quickly that you cannot do a full gut renovation for $20,000. And this project ended up going dramatically over budget. In fact, I was able to somehow, and I look back and I'm still not even sure how I was able to even do this, but it ended up costing me around $50,000 for the renovation of this property. And I still, to this day, I'm surprised it didn't cost me $100,000, but I was able to renovate it, and I looked at the numbers on it, and it just was not going to really make me any money as a flip. And my first property that I just mentioned before that I'd rented out and then sold, I'd sold that property on owner financing to the buyer. And so I was like, okay, I could just do the same thing. And so I ended up, that property I had bought with owner financing. And so I was thinking to myself, okay, I need to pay out the owner. So I was going to refinance out. And at the time, the bank that I was working with had a great relationship. I said, hey, here's exactly what I'd like to do, but I want to be above board. I value our relationship, tell you exactly what my thoughts are, how I want to do this. And so I was like, can I get a loan with you guys and then basically sell this and owner finance it? And basically I would pay you guys. Basically it's like a hybrid, a wraparound mortgage, so to speak, not to get too in the weeds on that, but he said, we really would prefer you not do that. We'd prefer you just rent it out instead of doing it that way. And so that kind of shot that down. And I thought, I don't know if I really want to be a landlord, renting properties and dealing with toilets and tenants and all these headaches. Like, I don't really think I want to do that. But ultimately I decided, okay, let's give this thing a shot. And so I ended up putting a tenant in the property. I refinanced out. I pulled out all of my capital on a cash out refinance and ended up thinking to myself, this is amazing. Like, I think I need to do this again. And so I have, by the way, it's a free guide. If you comment in the comments below the word wealth, I'll send you this free guide on exactly the process and the exact strategy that I used. It's the Burr method, but I have a guide. It's an extensive step-by-step. It has checklists on how to buy properties using this method. I'll actually send that to you. Just comment wealth below, but in the YouTube comments. But I realized this is really how to build wealth. Flipping properties is great. I've got a flip going right now. If everything goes well and we get to the closing table, it's going to be over 6 figures in one flip. I mean, that's insane when you think about that. But the thing about flipping properties is you've got to do it again and again and again and again. Rental properties, you can buy them and it builds wealth over time. If you have debt on the properties, that debt, the mortgage that you're paying, if you think about it, if you do it right, it's really being paid by the tenant. So if the mortgage is, $1,500, and after all expenses and everything's said and done with, you have $1,600, then the mortgage is being paid by the tenant. Now, again, I talk about in a lot of other videos on this channel, you really do want to have a bigger cushion than $100 as far as cash flow goes. But the point is, the debt is really being serviced by the tenant. And so when you think about that debt is going down, and the appreciation value of the property is going up, and typically, and so that spread is your wealth. Your wealth is just growing over time, and so it's one of those things where buy and hold rental property is an incredible way to invest and build wealth. And if it's something that you are looking at trying to get into and figure it out, I would certainly advise, instead of doing it the way I did, I would certainly advise getting help with that, getting some sort of mentorship, coaching. I have a program that I'm promoting right now. It's a coaching program, but if it's not my program, get some program, join your local RIA meetings. Basically just get plugged in and have others that you can bounce ideas off of and build relationships with that can help you through that process. Because I can tell you, investing, particularly in real estate, is, number one, it can be kind of a lonely thing if you don't have others that you can kind of have an advisory, like even if it's just friends that are involved in I've got tons and tons of friends that are real estate investors. I've got friends in my same local market, and I don't look at them as competitors. I look at them as friends, and we can talk about what's working. I'm in a mastermind. Getting plugged in. And so obviously if you're a brand new or aspiring investor, I'm not saying you need to go out and join an expensive mastermind per se, but I would say definitely look at getting plugged into a local community, get plugged in with coaching, get plugged in online, like get some resources to where you can learn as you earn, so to speak, so that you can have some support. But yeah, if you're interested in learning more, I have an online community. It's actually full at the moment of this video, but you can check that out. We have a wait list set up, so if you're interested, you can get on the wait list and we can notify you when it opens back up. And like I said, that free guide, you can check that out. Just comment below wealth. And if you're interested in working with me in any other capacities, there should be something somewhere in the comments below on how to do all of that. But definitely real estate, I think, is a great way to build wealth. As always, thanks for watching today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.